Hi, and nice to see you back at Garfin's Creation. These eggless cashew and cranberry biscotti is a perfect companion for your tea or coffee. This classic Italian treat is just easy to make without any eggs as well. So let's see all the ingredients, and I mentioned the entire recipe in the description box as well. So here I have taken half a cup of cashew nuts and quarter cup of dried cranberries. This is 1 plus 3/4 cup of maida all-purpose flour. Next is half a cup of castor sugar. You can also use powder sugar. Quarter cup of cashew nut powder, half a teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Wet ingredients, this is 1 teaspoon vanilla essence, 1/3 cup of milk and 1/3 cup of oil. I have used a 200 ml cup measurement for the entire recipe. We will begin by sieving the dry ingredients first. Into a bowl, I'll be sieving the maida, baking powder and the salt. To add some warmth into this recipe, you can also add cinnamon powder here. Once this is sieved, I'll also be adding the cashew nut powder into it, and then we'll mix all these ingredients together. This will ensure that everything is thoroughly mixed. So these were all our dry ingredients required for this recipe. Just mix it well and just keep it aside for some time. Now we need to whisk up the wet ingredients. Into a mixing bowl, I'll add the oil, the vanilla essence, the milk, the castor sugar. You can also take the same amount of powder sugar here. Now whisk this really well till the oil and milk is fully combined. Just whisk this for about a minute so that everything is mixed together well. And the sugar too is completely dissolved. So this looks good enough. Now into this we'll add the cashew nuts and the cranberries. You can break the whole cashew nuts in 2 pieces as well. Give it a mix and then add in the dry ingredients. Just add it all at once and mix it again. So here you see how easy it is to make this eggless biscotti recipe. You can also customize this, and in place of cashew nuts you can add almond flour and almond pieces as well. Now I'll use my hands and get this into a dough. We do not have to knead this too much, just combine it all so that it forms a soft dough. Just like how you would make a cookie dough, just do not knead it. Just combine all and just press it together to form a soft ball. So here you see how easily our dough is formed. I will just divide this dough into 2 portions now, so that we can shape them into 2 loaves. Once this is done, let's prepare the baking tray. I have just lined a baking tray with a parchment paper and just greased it with some oil. We will now shape both the portions into a long log, just pushing the cranberry and the nuts inside so you get a sort of a smooth dough on top. Now we'll place both the dough on the baking tray and flatten them a bit. And you can flatten them to a thickness of 1 or 1.5 inches in height. Do not keep it too very thin or they might break while slicing. Do not keep very thick as well, as it might take more time while baking. So I'll just shape it and flatten it a little bit with my hands. Before starting the recipe, it's best to preheat your oven at 170 degrees centigrade for at least 10 minutes. So once your dough is ready, your oven too will already be preheated. Now bake this in the oven at 170 degrees centigrade for around 20 to 25 minutes. And once they are out of the oven, just let them be on the cooling rack for some time till you're able to handle them and slice them further. So around after 10 minutes, I will just slice them into 1/2 inches wide strips. Use a sharp serrated knife for this, as we have to cut through the nuts and the cranberries. Do not cut the slices too very thick or too very thin as well. These cookies are baked twice, so after slicing we need to put them back on the baking tray. So I'll cut slices from both the logs and place them on the baking tray. So after slicing them, I'll put them back on the same baking tray. This time sideways down. Once you fill the tray, you need to put it back into the oven and bake it for at least 8 to 10 minutes. And once out of the oven, Just flip them and continue baking for another 8 to 10 minutes on the other side as well. This way they'll get nice and crispier from both the sides. Use a spatula if you feel it is too hot to handle. And once they are baked for the second time, we will let them cool back on the cooling rack till they are completely cool, and then you can store it in an airtight box. If you need to gift them to someone, you can use this disposable box. You can also add these biscottis to your hampers too. You can store these biscottis at room temperature in an airtight box for at least 2 weeks. These biscottis are real crunchy and they go well with tea and coffee. I hope you all like this recipe and thanks for watching. Do subscribe to Garfin's Creation for more lovely recipes as well. See you soon again. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.